Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Read and Reread. I am Angelia. Today I'm going to do a haul video. I'm kind of getting a late start today. I slept in for me. I kind of sleep in every day because I'm retired, but even for me, it was later than usual because I woke up. At first, it was 7:30, which is kind of early for me, and I thought, oh, I don't know. And then the next thing you knew, it was 9:15. And then I lollygagged around drinking tea and watching videos until I got in the mood, and now I'm finally starting. So this video will come out, it'll come out on Tuesday. I just don't know exactly when it's going to hit the airwaves, so to speak. The other thing is I was kind of waiting around to see if the mail would show up because every single time I do a haul video, there's always a straggler that should have been here, but it's not. And so there is a book that it's supposed to be delivered today, but it's raining, so I might not get any mail at all because we have the on-foot mail people, and they have to come all the way up to the mail slot goes into the living room at the old-fashioned kind. And when it's bad weather, sometimes they just kind of don't come. So we'll see. I might have a little like a haul addendum on Friday Reads because there's another book, and I don't know when it's going to get here, that I pre-ordered that I think it is also on the way. So maybe there'll just be a little da-da-da-da on Friday, but we're just going to go with what's already here because I am now ready to make the video. So if you are new to my channel, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. And the first thing I got to tell you, if you guys are not into cookbooks, you might want to just sally forth and skip over the next little piece because the first 3 books are cookbooks. And I don't buy a ton of cookbooks. I have a small collection of them, and every now and then I do get one. I downsized the whole set a couple of years ago and donated a bunch that I really don't ever use at all and try to get it down to like a core of ones that I either use or they had sentimental value. But I have started to buy a book or two since then. And I do use online recipes as well. One website that I've used quite a few times successfully is called Nora Cooks. And I'll do that when there's a certain thing I want, or I want to read a couple of different interpretations of a technique and see what I want to do, or I'll start with something I want to do, and then I'll look at 3 or 4 different variations of it and see which one seems like it's going to work for me. But I really prefer a print cookbook. I like to have that thing sitting out on the counter. I also like to sit and just before I'm going to go to the grocery store, I like to sit and look through recipes and maybe pick something out that I want to try. And I like the pictures. I like the permanence of it and not having to search for it and remember where it was and scrolling up and down in the middle of trying to make it and the screen timing out and all that stuff. So I'm kind of old-fashioned about the cookbooks, even though I do use websites. So all those disclaimers and time wasters, let's see what I bought. These are all vegetarian cookbooks because that's what I am. So the first one is Vegan Pie in the Sky by Chandra, Moskowitz, and Terry Hope Romero. I have several cookbooks by Moskowitz, and I have 3 of these little cookbooks that these two paired up and made together. There's another one about cookies that I've used quite a lot, and then there's one about cupcakes, which I haven't really used, but it was cute, so I bought it. But Vegan Pie in the Sky. I like pie. Stephen likes pie. Every now and then we buy some pie at the grocery store. They actually make some decent, you can buy like slices or a half or something. And once in a while I make mainly, my one pie that I know how to make is peach pie. I do not know how to make crust. I've always been intimidated by crust, and this book has instructions and encouragement for making your own crust. So that is a challenge that I want to take on. And then it has a whole bunch of cool recipes, including the kind that aren't the traditional, more like the cobblers and everything. This is Very Berry Chocolate Chip Cobbler. And to that I say, yes, indeed. I also got my own copy of this book. I think I might have shown it one time when it was a library book. I got it from the library. It's called Veggie Burgers Every Which Way by Lukas Volger. And I checked it out and I tested it out. And I made several things and they were all really good. So I bought our own copy. This was another thing where I wanted to challenge myself to make our own veggie burgers. It's something that we eat quite a lot. And the store-bought ones, the frozen ones, are not bad, but these are so much more flavorful and they don't have weird mystery ingredients in them. And so I'm going to try almost everything in this book. Sounds really good. It also does have recipes for side dishes, salads, and homemade hamburger buns, which is another intimidating thing. But when I looked up reviews of this book, everyone said the buns are wonderful. So maybe I will try it. I don't know. And then the final of the cookbooks is this ice cream one, Super Vegan Scoops by Hannah Kaminsky. And we did get a ice cream maker when did we get that? No, it wasn't this last Christmas. I think it was the year before. And off and on, we've had these little runs of making ice creams, but we've just been using online recipes or winging it. And so I did get this cookbook, and it has both regular recipes and then also like some fancy things. This one is really calling my name. It is slow roasted banana ice cream, and it's this banana cinnamon thing. And there was this popsicle that I haven't seen in a couple of years that was like a banana cinnamon popsicle, and it was so good. And this is what this reminds me of. And then some of the fancy stuff. Oh my gosh. Another thing that I'm totally scared of is those kind of log cakes, bûche de Noël or whatever they're called. Beautiful. I know what mine would look like, and it would be a botch de Noël for sure. But in fact, I made a cake. What did I make one time? It wasn't that, but it was something that came out like a big crumbly mess. So I ended up turning it into a parfait. I don't know. I put like whipped cream and stuff in between, and put it in wine glasses and passed it off as intentional. But I don't think anybody was fooled. All right, so that is the cookbooks. You can tell me in the comments if you do or do not want to hear about cookbooks, and I will try to take it into account for future reference. I don't buy them. I probably won't buy another cookbook for a long time. But let's move on to the fiction. The first two books, you've already seen them because I got them for the BookTube prize judging. They were books that I needed to read and rank for that, and they were not available at my library. So that was August Blue by Deborah Levy. And I told the story about getting the UK edition because the US cover was super blah. And I like this one a lot better. And I have read it. So, there's good news. There's actual books, well, maybe 2 books in this pile that I've already read. And this is one of them. My review will be coming out right after the 1st of April when we're allowed to release our thoughts. And then also I bought Enter Ghost by Isabella Hammad, and again for the BookTube prize. Here's one that you have not seen yet. The other day I was at the thrift store and I found this story collection from Alice Munro that I didn't already have, The View from Castle Rock, and it has this really cool photo on the cover. Unfortunately, the thrift store wrote a price on it with now it's a smudged black marker because I did one little attempt of trying to clean it to see if it was pencil. But anyway, it's still in really good condition, and I don't have this. I had to send a picture home to Stephen to check because I have several Alice Munro books, and I love her short stories, and I've heard of this, but I didn't think I had it. But then it looked familiar, and I finally figured out that it's because I've seen it at my mom's house. But I'm going to put this picture up. This is what I sent him, and I think it's a funny picture. You can see the rows and rows of pants in the thrift store behind the books. I don't know, it just kind of cracked me up. Yeah, I'm easily amused. I will be sampling into those stories, and maybe I can include some when I do my Shorty September project. So I'm excited to have another one of her books in my collection. The next one, you may have seen it if you saw my community post about randomly buying this at Target. Well, I mean, it's not that random because I had just talked about it in my video about exciting new releases. But when I went to Target, I was just going there for those Target-y kind of things, and then it just leapt out at me, and it had a good price, and I kind of lost track in my mind about when it was going to be released, and I could not leave without it. Have I started reading it? No, because I mean, I probably have 20 books right now that I'm super eager to get to. Uh, you are all familiar with the disconnect between the acquisition of books and the actual time of reading the books. And I'm experiencing a real height of that right now. But anyway, here is Wandering Stars by Tommy Orange, and it is getting a lot of really solid reviews. I am really excited to read this. So from what I understand, there is a connection to his first novel, There, with some characters that reappear in this book. But it goes back in time to 1864 and begins with Star, who is a boy who has survived the Sand Creek Massacre, and then he is forcibly forced, yes. It says he's forced to learn English and practice Christianity by Richard Henry Pratt, an evangelical prison guard who will go on to found the Carlisle Indian Industrial School, an institution dedicated to the eradication of Native history, culture, and identity. And so then it goes through the generations of Starr's family, some of whom also go through that system in that school. And then I guess it moves up to the present day. But it's supposed to be very powerful. I'm definitely looking forward to reading this as soon as I can. You caught a glimpse of the next one in my March TBR because I got it several weeks ago, and I got it for the purpose of reading in March. And now what day are we on? And I still haven't gotten to it, but Hope Springs Eternal. Oh, William by Elizabeth Strout, and I am rereading the Lucy Barton books. This is the third of the 4, and then the 5th one is coming out this fall, or maybe summer. I don't know, fall or summer. But anyway, this is the next one up, and this might be the next book I read, this one or the next one I'm going to show you. That's what's teetering on the edge. I'm currently reading 2 books, but when I finish these, I already have in mind what I'm looking for next, which is the Shakespeare, and either this one or the one I'm getting ready to show you. But Oh, William is, as I said, the 3rd book about Lucy Barton. And in this book, she accompanies her ex-husband, William, on a road trip to look into a family secret that he has uncovered about his mother. And the other one that I might start reading next is Moon of the Turning Leaves by Waubgeshig Rice. This is the sequel to Moon of the Crusted Snow, which I read and loved last November, I guess, December, late last year. And it really gripped me. An apocalyptic novel about a group of indigenous people living in a remote town in Canada in the present day when something cataclysmic happens that wipes everything off the grid. And in this book, I'm kind of afraid to read this because of spoilers, but it's 12 years later, and some of the people in the original book are relocating. They are moving to another spot because resources are dwindling, it says. I don't want to know anymore. I'll talk about what I can talk about when I read it because I don't want to spoil it for you either. But if you have not read Moon of the Crusted Snow and you like apocalyptic novels or you like books by and about indigenous people, how many times am I going to have to tell you to go read Moon of the Crusted Snow? And now here's the sequel, so get on it if you haven't done it yet. All right, now let's see. The next one is a book, okay, there's 3 more, and they are all BookTube made me do it. And, if you hear about a book and it sounds interesting, if you're like me, okay, oh, that sounds really cool, and you jot it down, and then you hear about it again, and it builds up. If you hear about it enough times, it finally you just crack and you have to buy it, right? Isn't that how it works? So this book I've been hearing about probably for a solid year now, and I've never heard somebody say that they were disappointed. And so finally I had to get a copy, and that is I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. And I don't even know where Jacqueline Harpman is from. Let's see. And it's translated, but the translator is not even listed on the cover. So she is from Belgium. Wait, where is she from? Is she French? Well, maybe I should have looked at this before I started. All right, she was born in Belgium in 1929. What? I have some learning to do here. Okay. I thought that this book was more. She's not even alive. Okay. Hold all the phones. What? Okay. See, how did I hear all these reviews and miss all the author information? Didn't know it was translated. Well, it doesn't help that there's absolutely no indication of it anywhere on the front or back of the book. And I didn't know that it was like something written in the past. Okay, so she was born in 1929. Her family fled to Casablanca when the Nazis invaded and only returned home after the war. After studying French literature, she started training to be a doctor, but could not complete her training due to contracting tuberculosis. She turned to writing in 1954, and in 1980 qualified as a psychoanalyst, wrote 15 novels. I don't know when she wrote this book, but she died in 2012, and it was translated by Schwartz. So, wow, you saw it here, you saw it first. I learned something on the spot. But anyway, this is a strange book about a group of women that are imprisoned in a cave underground. They are nameless. They don't know how they got there. But I guess they form kind of a society. There's 39 people, and then the 40th one is a young girl, and it says, soon she will show herself to be the key to the others' escape and survival in the strange world that awaits them above. I don't know how much of the book is about the people in the cage or how much is about the escape, or if there's a lot about afterward. It's one of those books that sounded so weird and compelling that I didn't want to hear too much about it, especially since it's a thin book. And I don't think anyone gave me any spoilers. Obviously I have very little clue about what this book's about, but it's right up my alley, and I don't know why I waited so long to get a copy, but now I have it, and hopefully I will read it soon. Okay, what else? Okay, the last two are the thinnest book and the thickest book in the pile, shortest and longest. The shortest book is The English Understand Wool by Helen DeWitt. BookTube made me do it once again because a number of people have read and reviewed this very slim novella and talked about how much they enjoyed it. And the cover made me do it too. I love this painting by Wayne Thiebaud. And I also I'm getting like little golden book vibes out of this shiny binding. Storybook ND. The pleasure of reading a great book from cover to cover in an afternoon. Ooh, so it's a imprint that just makes novellas, I guess. Very interesting. Oh, and there's a list of other books, so I'll have to look up and see. Ooh, and there's a Clarice Lispector. Wow, okay. Again, learning on the spot, but this one was published in 2022, and it is about a young girl, a 17-year-old girl, I guess, who has been raised in wealth, and they have all these notions of good taste and where you should buy different kinds of goods, and the English understand wool. And let's see. It's a modern amorality drama about this girl, the wilder shores of connoisseurship, I'll get that, and the power of false friends. That tells me virtually nothing, but at 17, during the annual Ramadan travels, she finds all assumptions overturned. I don't, again, very short, so I don't want to know a whole lot more. It just sounded kind of cool, and I've heard that this girl is sort of not to be underestimated, so I gotta love that. All right, and then finally, the last book in my current pile, and this one, it's BookTube made me do it from several people, but I'm mainly going to lay the blame at the feet of Priscilla from The Evening Reader, because not only did she read the book and recommend it, she specifically told me that I really needed to buy it and that I would not regret it. And so it's all on you, Priscilla. It's all on you. And that is Collected Works by Lydia Sandgren, which, you know, Collected Works sounds like it's going to be short stories, but it's not. It's a novel. I love this cover. And this is one case where I actually loved this. I think this is the US cover, and I liked it better than the UK cover. I got the greatest deal on this book. It is still a fairly new hardcover, and I got it for like $7 from Goodwill online, like through eBay. And it is in absolutely perfect condition, so I am very excited. The translator, who is the translator? Agnes Broome. And I guess it was originally written, I think it's Swedish. How many times yeah, are you enjoying this? I'm so sorry. It is Swedish, and it is her debut novel, a compelling mystery and poignant Bildungsroman for readers of Karl Ove Knausgaard. Well, I can't really claim that, but it's about love, power, and art, and what leads us to make the pivotal decisions that change the courses of our lives. I'm expecting a family saga, family drama. There's a man whose wife disappeared years ago, and then there's he and his adult children, and I don't know, there's artists and creative people and family mysteries, and it's for when I'm in that mood to just really immerse in a big, long, juicy family kind of story, I think, I hope. But it's not a mammoth. It's just kind of a long book. So I'm good. I'm okay. And that is my pile, except for the two. Well, one's a straggler because it has been in town since Thursday and it's still not at my house. And the other one is just a book that got released this week that you can probably guess. What book got released this week that I have talked on and on and on about, and it's finally on its way to me? It starts with a J. But if it shows up by Friday, I'll throw it into Friday Reads. But there it is. Tell me about your experiences with any of these books or any other comments you want to share with me. I appreciate hearing from you down in the comments, and I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I'll be back and check in on Friday. See you then. Bye-bye.